So this is finding the exact value of our trig ratios. And you want to think about it like this. We have some point x comma y. And if we make the radius 1, then we'd have x and y. That gives us our point. So sine theta of our triangle would be y over 1, opposite over hypotenuse. Simplified would just be y. And cosine would be x over 1. Simplified would be x. So you can see our x is actually our cosine. And our y is our sine theta. So how that looks is like this. So at 35 degrees, you would have a sine theta of 0.5736 and a cosine of 0.812. And if we went to 30 degrees, you could see that sine theta is a half. And remember over here, 150, you could see sine theta is also a half again, and we can go all the way around the entire circle, giving us every single value. So at 240, our sine is the negative square root of 3 over 2. That's the 0.8666 right here. So you can go through the entire circle, all of our angles, and find every single value of sine and cosine just by rotating it. So right there, that's 59 degrees. Our sine is 0.8572 and 0.515. But what we're going to be doing is locking down the exact values. And so if you already look at our sine theta from 0 to 90 are these values. So sine of 0 is 0, sine of 30 is a half, square root of 2 over 2, rad 3 over 2, and 1. And if you look at the coordinates, look at the y values, it's the same idea. So 0, 1 half, square root of 2 over 2, rad 3 over 2, and 1. So each of these gives us our answer. So it looks like this. If we had sine of 3 pi over 4, all you have to do is go to 3 pi over 4 right here. That's the 135. And if it's sine, it's the y coordinate. And if it's cosine, it's the x coordinate. So sine of 3 pi over 4 is rad 2 over 2. It's that quick. Cosine of 4 pi over 3. So we go to 4 pi over 3 right here. And our cosine is the x, so negative 1 half. And then tangent. Tangent of 7 pi over 4. And remember, the pi over 4s are here right in the middle. So right there's our 7. It's the 45 degrees. So tangent is y over x. So tangent would be y over x, our sine over cosine. So this is our y over x. So 7 pi over 4 would be negative rad 2 over 2 over rad 2 over 2. And you can see that's negative 1. What about secant? Well, secant is just the reciprocal of cosine. So if you know what cosine is, you just flip it and you get your answer. So pi over 6, our cosine would be rad 3 over 2. So this would be 1 over rad 3 over 2. So our answer would actually be 2 over radical 3. You just flip it. And then we rationalize. And once you've done this a few times, you already know all of them. So it's 2 rad 3 over 3. So every time you get rad 3 over 2 and you have to flip it, it's really 2 rad 3 over 3. Degrees works the same way. So if you had 30 degrees, sine is a half, the y coordinate. Negative 30, so that would be positive 30, so going down 30. Or you could do 360 minus 30, and that would tell you it's 330. We want cosine, which is x, so rad 3 over 2. So what about cotangent? Well, cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. So instead of being y over x, we are going to be x over y. And so we go to 180. And so that would be x over y, negative 1 over 0. And we know that is undefined. So our cotangent at 180 is undefined. What about tangent of 300? So we go to 300. Tangent again is y over x. So negative rad 3 over 2 over 1 half. And then this would be negative rad 3 over 2 times, and you flip it. Cancel, cancel. Negative radical 3. And there you have it. So all you're doing is finding the angle. X is cosine. Y is sine. And then put them together to find all the other trig ratios that you need. So what about sine of 780? Well, we just have to find its coterminal. So if you subtract 360, and then we do it again, that would be 720. We would end up with 60 degrees. So it's really sine of 60. So if we go to 60 degrees, our sine would be rad 3 over 2. And there you go.